Let's do a little bit more with this. You ready? Let's listen, please. Watch. What if I had a line like this? I copied and pasted. So guess what's true about those two lines?
They're parallel.
They're parallel to each other. Okay? They're parallel to each other. So tell me something about the slopes of these. Right. We'll call this just 1 and 2 for line 1 and line 2. So the slope of line 1 is going to what? Equal the slope of line 2. So when they're parallel, they have the same slopes. What if you had two lines and they formed a right angle? What do they call? They're perpendicular. Okay? And I'll just have it going through just to show you. It doesn't have to just stop right there. If I had two lines like this and they're perpendicular, are those slopes equal to each other? Kind of. Not at all. Look, that's going in a completely different direction as this. And this is not near as steep as this one. Okay, so watch. If this was the slope 1 and this was slope 2, they're not equal to each other. Watch what they are. Are we watching? All right, I would rather you listen and not talk and just let me finish, okay? All right, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but right now I got to get through some stuff. All right, they're not equal to each other because, look, they're going in completely different directions. First of all, is this slope 2 right here, is it a positive slope or a negative slope? It's positive, isn't it? What about this slope right here? It's going down. From left to right, it's going down, so that's a negative slope. So right off the bat, they're not equal to each other. Look at this one. The steepness of them, that's almost flat, isn't it? It's kind of flat. This is really, really steep right here. In fact, one is the negative reciprocal of the other. Remember this phrase, negative reciprocal. Negative reciprocal. So for instance, let's say the slope of line 2 was 1/2. What would the slope of line 1 be equal to? Negative means the opposite sign. Reciprocal, you know what you do. You flip it, don't you? So Gabby, what would it be?
Negative 2.
Right, the slope of line 1 would be negative 2. Do you see the difference? There is a similarity between them, but you just flip it. So let's do another number. What if I gave a slope of one line as 2/3? What would the slope of a line that's perpendicular to this line be?
Negative.
It's the opposite, right? The negative reciprocal. So it's negative 3/2. Do you follow me? So this is if the lines are what? Perpendicular. If the lines are perpendicular, the slopes are negative reciprocals of each other. Sometimes they'll do this. They'll say the slope of line 1 equals negative 1 over, well, how would they do that? Slope of 2 equals, I think that's how they write it. I'm not really sure. I like to remember this. Okay, negative reciprocal. So if you have a slope of 2/3, what's the slope of a line that's perpendicular to it? Negative 3/2. What if you had a slope of a line that's negative 4? What would the slope of a line that's perpendicular to this be?
Positive 1/4.
Positive 1/4. Good. What if you had a slope of a line of 5/2? What would the slope of a line that's parallel to this be? Parallel. It'd be 5/2. It'd be the same thing. Okay. If they're parallel to each other, they have the same slope. If they're perpendicular to each other, their slopes are negative reciprocals of each other. Can you remember that? All right. And I think that will take us to the end. And I didn't quite finish in the other class, and I think we're not quite finished here either. I think we're pretty close, but I got an example or two to do, and we'll just finish up that tomorrow. It's Wednesday night, so I won't give you homework tonight, okay? So
Bless
there
you,
go.
Mr. Ham. You're the best.
Yeah, I know. All right. All right, say goodbye to you two.
Bye, YouTube.
Be free.